Hey there! So today we have another review, and this is a beer from New Belgium. This is their Tripel, two P's in it. Usually the style is spelled with one P. This is their Belgian style ale, product of Fort Collins, Colorado. Wow, so this is actually not even brewed in their East Coast location. This is sweet, golden, pleasant, dry ale, and pretty interesting, yeah. So,
Very basic, clean looking label.
yep, with that kind of like monastery kind of thing going on there.
Almost got it's got like a textured paper feel to it.
Yeah,
So it's
and this
cool.
is actually a beer that we had at. So I spoke to you guys about the Cicerone class I was doing, sort of like a meetup kind of thing where we hang out and drink a bunch of the BJCP beers. This is obviously not a BJCP example of a Belgian style Trappist triple, but we had a good variation of the many of the beers, and I think this one actually a lot of people liked. So.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's that one. So first off, I will say that this beer does not, despite the head creation as we're swirling it, the Belgian examples are bottle conditioned. I don't believe this is bottle conditioned. This is brewed with spice, by the way. Triple traditionally is not brewed with spice. It is bottle conditioned. Sorry about that. And I think Triple Carmelite is the only one that actually uses spices. Generally, this is just not spiced, and then really expressive qualities of the yeast. This one comes in at 8.5%, so in the range of it. So let's dig into it, bottle condition. So the beer comes in a medium to deep gold color, has a little bit of light haze to it, off-white head. But by the way, I will say that the Belgian ones you try to pour, you cannot pour them with no head. They would just explode with this big, fluffy, creamy white head. This one doesn't seem to have that much of it, despite it being bottle conditioned, because the Belgian examples are all bottle conditioned.
Mm-hmm.
On the nose, I get spice and oranges and cooked pears and just quite aromatic, expressive yeast quality along with the spices you're using.
Yeah, this definitely smells like a Belgian to me. Like it's got that it does have a like spiced aroma to it. It doesn't. I don't think it smells as strong as it is.
Yeah. So a little bit of
8.5,
alcohol in there.
yeah.
There's some of that phenolic kind of band-aidy quality. There's some of that floral element. There's a little bit of that light plasticky thing in there, right? Plastic. There's also this like, big sweet kind of note to it. It has like honeyed sweetness to it. It has a little bit of like orange marmalade. Comes in with a little bit of cooked pear and that kind of like just a really nice complex kind of Belgian triple nose to it. It smells decently spicy, so I get coriander, a hint of like spearmint or something like that. It smells quite nice. Cheers. So, again with the beer, I think the beer we poured had a lot of this kind of like big, decently head to it. This is appearance-wise just does not look like the Belgian examples. It's bottle conditioned, but it really doesn't expand with a huge, fluffy, tight bubble head.
You know what I kind of get up front is that pink bubblegum that comes in the yellow and pink wrapper.
Zebra?
No. They're twisted. But like when you over chew it,
Mm-hmm.
and all the sweetness is gone, it kind of has that flavor to it right up front.
Good amount of that kind of fruity bubblegum ester, maybe a little bit of, and maybe a little bit of banana too. That's on
Rubber bands.
Rubber bands. Yeah, some of that plasticky phenolic thing.
Yeah, not in a bad way. Like, I mean, it works for a beer. I mean, I don't think I'd want this in a bubble gum, but it works for a beer.
Pretty clean. A little
is
bit of
that?
like spice on the back end. A little bit of like a clove coriander thing. Dry. A little bit of that kind of honeyed, rich sweetness in the middle, but like not cloying at all. It's actually decently dry. A little bit
Almost
hoppy
like a
as well.
grapefruit.
Mm-hmm.
A grapefruit dryness more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's just very upfront and bold with that.
Yeah.
With that just dryness.
And there's a good amount of variation in style. This beer is quite dry. Whereas if you have something with a small triple is decently hoppy if you have it fresh, but also just big rounded bananas and
Bubblegum. That's just what it tastes like to me. Bubblegum.
Yeah. There is some bubblegum that's part of the style. That's just the expression of the yeast. It's a big, chewy, rich, malty complexity and depth to the small triple. This one's more like a light, triple light.
This is good though.
Yeah, more towards the fans of something like Gold Monkey, but also a little bit more nuance, I think. A little more compact and nuance on flavor. So what's your final impression rating on this one?
Funny that you brought up Golden Monkey. That was my first ever Belgian. Was Golden Monkey.
Hmm.
And yeah, I agree with what you had said. Um, oh my gosh. Overall, this is really good.
Yeah.
Um, there's some very nostalgic flavors with that bubblegum to me, and I think that's what makes it kind of special. It just reminds me. It's weird, kind of. It like pops me back to my childhood because it does taste like overchewed bubblegum.
Hmm.
And I really like it. I like that it's a very strong flavor. The fact that it comes in at an 8.5% is not surprising with this one. They don't hide it well. And that's fine. I don't think that you have that in a lot of Belgians where they hide the ABV in it. But I like it. I like it. It's not super extraordinary, but I think it's a very safe. It's a very safe Belgian to me. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna give it 92.
Okay. For me, this is pretty fun. It actually drinks a little bit like a Belgian Golden Strong Ale. So a little bit like Duvel, but not quite. Again, the carbonation is still an issue for me. I really like that big, fluffy, chewy head. And ideally, you get that from the bottle conditioned example of this beer. Maybe we need to warm it up a little bit more, but you didn't quite hit that. But the flavors are quite compact again. It doesn't have the big malty sweetness and chew that Vestmal Triple has. It doesn't have a lot of as much of the fruity esters and big flavors that you might get something like Le Fin du Monde. This is more kind of like really nice, clean, drinkable, a little bit spicy, not overly spicy too. Despite the addition of spices, it's also not overly phenolic. It just plays in that middle ground, but it's not a cheap take on it where it's like jokey kind of triple. The flavors are well integrated.
It's got so much flavor, like right up front and then at the beginning of the middle, I think.
Yeah, and if anything, it can be a little bit boring for people that drink triples, but I think it just has great drinkability to it. It just does something I like, just it's instead of throwing in some like dry double IPAs that are quite hoppy and bitter, you can have something that's like boozy, a little bit phenolic, but super dangerous. This is super dangerous stuff, and it doesn't play too heavy on those flavors. I think a lot of people might dislike a lot of those like impactful, too dense kind of Belgian phenolics. It's sort of like this is definitely I'd say a beginner's
Yeah, it's
triple.
safe.
It's safe. It's quite delicious though. I think I really like it as a rating. Mm-hmm. Let's go with 87.
87, really?
Yeah. I maybe I should like it more. 89. It's around that cusp. 89. So 89. This new Belgium Triple. It's a fun one. It's definitely an outlier if you had some other triples out there. So it's definitely one to try out if you like triples. It's also quite decently recommended. So 98. Until next time, guys. Cheers. This is New Belgium Triple. Later.